Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first audio-visual episode of the Book Return. Crazy. Episode 1, Season 1. Which is the way that the British do it.
We've already been renewed for Season 2.
We have been. One episode seasons, baby.
Oh, wow.
I'm Zach, the information manager.
I'm Brittany, the library director.
And I'm Chloe, one of the clerks.
How was your weekend?
Always with the weekend.
Oh, gosh. It's Thursday.
Any plans?
I don't remember. Do I?
What would you consider an overrated weekend? A rated weekend and an underrated
This
weekend.
is a great sieg.
This is a good sieg because that is the... You don't have to answer.
Oh,
That is
okay.
the...
I never know what answers you want me, or what questions you want me to answer and what questions you don't want me to answer.
I don't listen to the answers.
Oh,
I'm just
that's
trying to
good.
think of the next transition because I am...
So you could say anything at all.
Yeah. Eye patch.
Television?
Umbrella.
You get me. Brings us to today's topic, which is items in media that are overrated, rated, and underrated.
Rated appropriately.
Appropriately rated.
I like saying
Appropriately
rated. Yeah.
They're all rated.
That's it.
Yeah.
Rated couldn't be more or less accurate. So yeah, we're going to do 1 to 2 of each. Kind of get a feel for what each other likes. We're learning everything about each other.
Yeah. I feel like we have a
That we
good feel
can.
for that. But this is a good peek into that as well.
And we get audio visual stuff. Well, we've always gotten the audio.
Yeah. Now we
now-
got VOD.
yeah.
Video on demand.
We're 3D
Yeah.
now.
No.
Was it like visuals the third, right?
No.
Who wants to start?
What category are we starting with?
I feel like just my own brain wants to go to overrated.
We can start with
We
overrated.
can start with
That's the
overrated.
top of my stack.
sure.
So
Mine
that
too.
would be the easiest for me.
I pulled way too many, and I realized I pulled nothing for appropriately rated or underrated.
This is the opposite. I struggled really hard with overrated because I feel bad. I feel guilty.
I think I was raised to just be above everything, like pedantic.
Yeah.
But
And you read a lot of stuff that is like hard to read, so it makes sense to me that you'd find a lot of things that are like, well, that wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
should have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Stephen Hawking's book was so good. How come I didn't understand a word? Overrated. I can start. I pulled a nonfiction book as my overrated. I don't know.
Shocker.
Well, okay. Like I
I
don't
have no
know if you
Did
could.
you read that whole book?
I didn't read the whole thing.
How much of it
No.
did you read? Percent.
Like-
Give us a percent.
God.
80 pages?
Like I've read
83.
bits and pieces.
Okay.
Like I don't
You can
want
skip
to.
around
Fair.
in nonfiction.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't think I want to read any more of this book. It's the Bell Curve by Richard Herdstein and Charles Murray. I don't know if you could really call it overrated because it's pretty much widely panned by every psychologist and neurologist.
So your
These-
your first overrated book is a book that you're like, it's not overrated. I just
But
didn't
it's-
like it.
It's just trash.
Yeah.
It used to be like widely regarded as
Oh,
like
okay.
the book about the psyche and intelligence.
So what happened that it was debunked?
Yes, like widely.
Yeah, but
Because-
why? What happened that
Oh, I
they
see.
decided that the content was no longer relevant and or good?
Because he subscribes to the ideology that phrenology is like a valid metric to determine
Oh.
intelligence and like
Oh.
IQ.
Oh.
And so one of like
Both very racist.
Yes.
the whole book,
Yeah.
it's just like a very academic way to
Interesting.
be racist.
That's terrible.
And it's presented in such a way that seems valid, but it's cherry picking data. And it's
Okay.
like misrepresenting, reality just because IQ tests are like very pointed towards people in a very specific part of the
Yeah,
globe.
absolutely.
In a
Like
very
white middle class and upper class people.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
and even then, the IQ has no like projection on whether or not that person's actually going to be successful.
True.
correct.
In his book Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell has a whole like 3 chapters about that and the IQ experiments that took place and how very few of the ones with the highest IQ actually ended up being the most successful people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not a very valid metric.
it's not. It's like
does not
standardized
measure.
testing.
Yes.
It is.
Does not actually. It just measures if you can take a test.
Right,
well.
exactly.
Not if you're
Yeah,
actually very
exactly.
intelligent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the most insidious part about it was the argument that certain races are built a specific way that like trying to educate them is like a lost cause, and therefore it's just like it's an inherent thing, intellect.
That was
And
horrific.
It is.
I see a weed in that book's future.
I keep
yeah.
every time I walk by it, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. That is shocking that it was on our shelf still. Does it circ?
I've not checked the circ numbers, but I've not like specifically checked it out to anybody.
Well, the good news is it's a giant honking book, and we can fit 3 in its spot.
Yay!
That's
3 with
true.
real science.
So
So, shelf space.
Yay!
come down and check it out before we throw it away.
Yeah. Yeah. You can give it a hate read if you like.
All that, like I already did, like just little pieces.
I
Usually,
hate
I just
browse.
usually I
Yep.
find like excerpts online.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
like okay, there hasn't been a positive like excerpt that I've
Sure.
read from it,
Yeah.
and then I could just toss in a honorable mention. I guess
You got
that's
it.
what I'll do.
Do it.
Biggest book that I read in the '90s as a child: Stephen King's Desperation.
Oh, as a child?
I was probably 12.
Okay.
That's a child.
Yeah, I'd
sure.
say so.
That's a big book
Sure.
for a 12-year-old.
1 year away from being able to legally watch Forrest Gump. PG-13.
Legally. Will you hold the cover up again? It's quite creepy.
It is
It is.
pretty
Give
creepy.
people a chance.
It's got a
to-
terrifying doll on it.
It does.
It's like a spider in the doll's eye.
Very well done. Starts off with a couple being pulled over by a sheriff in a small town.
Ugh.
It's like,
That's like a lot of Stephen King books, I feel like.
yeah.
Was it in Maine?
That's a small
It's
town
not.
drama.
Oh.
It's not in Maine?
Maybe it is Maine.
Shocker.
Probably Maine. I think
Nevada.
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 I thought it was. Now, there's cactuses. There's not
That's
a whole
true. It
lot of
doesn't look
cacti
like
up.
Maine in the cover.
But I think one of the cool things that Stephen King does is he talks about Derry, which is the fictional town in Maine. So there's like a lot
Oh,
of
so
like,
it's in the
Oh,
same
okay.
universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
That is cool. I do like that he has this universe.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
it's
cool.
very interesting.
Yeah.
But the thing, like I reread it a couple of years ago, and it still starts off like it's got a very ominous tone, and it doesn't escalate until maybe the midway point, and then he Stephen King'd it. And he was like, because scary, all the spiders everywhere. This man's head is now a spider, and everything is spiders.
I could not read that book.
So you would hate it in
I'm
a different
surprised you
way.
can sit next to him while he said spiders so
really
many
bad.
times in
That
a
is
row.
terrible.
Recoiling.
That is dreadful.
And then like not to spoil it, it's just the things that were subtle are no longer subtle, and it's like way too in your
sure.
face. So
Sure.
Was it one of his earlier
Yeah.
books?
I don't think so. I think this was written in the 90s.
Okay.
This is some inside baseball. I'm gonna stumble through and look confused as I try to find.
1996.
Yep,
Yeah.
1996. I saw 1976, but it said One Piece at a Time. I don't know what that is. It sounds like a show.
I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
don't know either.
but yeah, not a fan anymore.
I will not be reading that.
Very
Yeah,
sad
I
because I
probably
was
won't do
excited to read it through the lens of an adult, and I shouldn't have.
Aww. Nostalgia bubble pop.
Do.
Sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my overrated picks.
Okay.
Okay.
What have you got, Miss Chloe?
I have one that I'll do this one first. Though we've talked about before, but I hate it so much. How
What?
to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's just bad. I don't think that they have any chemistry at all. Like, I don't know. It's just terrible. Do you guys like this movie?
That's interesting because they were also in Fool's Gold together.
I did not
They
see
were.
that. Did they have chemistry in that?
I don't remember.
So probably
I
not.
remember that movie being better.
Okay.
But it's like a pirate gold adventure movie.
Not a rom-com?
I
Okay.
really,
Oh,
it is a rom
Okay.
com.
Like
it
hardcore.
is.
It's
Yeah.
the same cover.
It
Every movie that Matthew McConaughey
he's
is
leading,
in
right?
Lanes.
is this cover.
It is.
I like the pink. I like pink. And there's
Yeah.
a dog.
Very cute.
But
I just,
Yeah.
I agree with you that I didn't even like the premise of the movie.
no, the premise is terrible.
Yeah.
They both are like trying to fool each other into. He's trying to fool her into liking him, and she's trying to fool him into not liking her, and then somehow it all works out.
Magic.
It's like
Doesn't.
the modern romance.
Hate
That's how it
it.
all goes.
No.
No.
For the most realistic depiction of romance I've ever seen in a movie.
Do you think so?
No, like I like Matthew McConaughey a lot now.
Do you?
Like now
He
that
plays the
he's
bongos.
he played the bongos then. Like this was
like he won't stop playing the bongos.
like
No matter
the-
how much I beg.
they CGI it out every movie.
I believe that. It's the most expensive part of the budget.
Honestly,
The no bongos part.
the Weta crew does it.
They are brilliant, by the
They,
way.
they are. They are.
Like 90s Matthew McConaughey, he was the heartthrob, and he was great at it. But
Yeah.
now that he's like older and more like haggard, he did the movie Mud, where he's just like deranged. He
I
did
did not see that.
True Detective.
Have you
Like,
seen these movies?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
okay.
True Detective's a show.
Oh, I
yeah.
have not seen it.
First season, phenomenal.
Okay.
So yeah, he's like an accomplished actor who's like really good at what he does now.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So he had to get the practice stuff out of the way
Yeah.
so he could do the
Yeah.
important stuff.
This was
Yeah.
like the money maker stuff.
Sure.
Now he's
Yeah,
established.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Well, like totally fine.
I'll try and watch something newer that he's in, maybe.
You don't have to. Like
No, he's probably a
That's
good
fine.
actor. I just can't stand that movie. I just hated it.
that's fair.
He was in The Lincoln Lawyer, right?
He was.
I
I
don't
remember
know.
watching that a few years ago.
I think they
It's a
not
TV
reboot.
show now.
It is. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and a book by John Grisham. Is that wrong? We can't edit this out.
I don't.
I have
is
to
it-
be right.
Is it Grisham? I don't think it is.
It's
Maybe.
Grisham.
Hold on, I'll look.
It's always Grisham.
Yeah, everything. He's written every book about lawyers.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Chatter,
John
chatter.
Grisham. What's your favorite John Grisham lawyer book? Is it The Firm with
I can't name another one.
Thomas Cruise?
Didn't see it. I guess I don't have to whisper. I don't know why I'm whispering.
Talk louder.
Louder.
Michael Connolly.
That's what I say. Over and over. Get the gum out of your ears.
You put it there.
That's true. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
a crazy thing to say.
Okay, moving on from the movie I hate. the other movie
Very
I
different.
hate. Yeah, The Greatest Showman. I hate this movie so much. Do you guys like this movie?
I have never watched
Don't
that
watch
movie.
it. Don't watch it.
Because it was very polarizing. People either loved it or they hated it. And I
hate
really
it.
like Hugh Jackman, and I didn't want it to color my opinion of Hugh Jackman.
See, it's
That's
awful. Did you see it?
No,
It's awful.
it's not really my movie.
It's terrible.
What's
like it.
terrible about it?
Well, I love musicals. I love musicals, and I think the music is
Yeah.
dreadful.
Oh no!
Oh, that's
Do you like the
dear.
music?
I
Have you heard it?
have not.
I think it's so
No.
bad. I think it's unlistenable. And I'm so sorry, people, if you love it. It's a very popular movie, and people love the music, but I can't listen to it. And the cast is like an all-star cast.
It is an all-star cast.
So I'm so sorry to everyone. And like Zendaya is wonderful. Zac Efron is wonderful.
he's done musicals.
He does.
Zendaya is a singer also.
Yeah.
So it should have been good. It
It
had
should
all the
have been
pieces
good.
to be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Way too much auto tune.
Oh, no.
But
Okay.
especially when the children sing, I find it unbearable.
That's realistic then.
It's true.
Well,
It's like the middle school band concert.
If children are gonna sing, they should sound like children, but they put so much
Sure.
auto tune and like
Oh, that's
like
weird.
stuff over it to try and make them sound not like children and trying to make it sound like good, and it just sounded like awful.
That
I
makes
just couldn't
sense.
do it.
4 kids.
Yeah.
And I think that they tried to like whitewash history a lot with it and cover up a lot of bad stuff that happened with Barnum and Bailey and
The
like,
elephants.
and the elephants and like the
Yeah.
racism and the way he exploited these people. But also, if you're gonna do that, that's fine. You can do that. But they tried to like also make him like out to be this hero, which I'm sure like he also did
Wow.
some good things. So I don't know. I just kind of was like, okay, do show both sides of it, maybe. I don't
Even
know.
if you're trying to push one angle, just like at least touch on the other so it doesn't
Yeah.
seem. I mean, it's rated
So,
PG.
One-sided.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they could do it PG and show both sides, so it's fine. It's not like a fair critique of me really, but I just
It's
don't
fair.
I don't care for it really.
I like that it's PG.
People can enjoy
for,
it, and that's totally fine.
It's got thematic elements, including a brawl.
A brawl.
A brawl.
A brawl. Yeah.
PG for fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs.
Hugh Jackman throws hands like you've never seen it.
Yeah. It's fine. I love musicals, but I wanted it to be better.
Sure.
It was a great musical. It's Rocket Man.
I still haven't seen that. I want to.
So good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one either.
Because it really shows the bad sides of Elton John.
Yeah, I want to. I was put off a bit by Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's why I didn't watch Rocket Man,
Yeah.
which I think was true of a lot of people.
I think so. This is what Bohemian Rhapsody should have been like.
Yeah.
And like
They PG-13'd it.
they did.
Yeah.
Because Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to be he was first in line to do like a Freddie Mercury biopic, and then Brian May was like, "You can't mention anything bad. Just talk about the songs, man."
Yeah.
It's like I would just listen to the album.
Yes. That would have been better than watching that movie. That movie wasn't bad. I enjoyed it, but it could have been a lot
It's
better.
fine.
Yeah.
Rami Malek's nice.
It was
I love
a
him.
version, and he did a fantastic job.
He did.
did.
He did
Yeah.
a very,
Really did.
very good job.
Yeah.
It's still a fun movie,
Yeah.
but it could have been better.
Yeah. What about you, Brittany? What do you think is overrated?
I have a couple that I think are overrated. My first choice
Agreed.
is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is one of the best-selling sci-fi
This is why I couldn't
series.
find that on the shelf.
Because I had it. One of the best-selling sci-fi series that's currently being written, and I think it was book 6 that was just released.
Oh, that's a lot.
I cannot tell you how much I despise this book.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm a sci-fi lover, you know.
Yeah.
I love sci-fi.
I love this take.
So the setup of this book is they're on Mars. Everyone is divided up into a caste/class system. The hero, and yes, you all see me using my quotey fingers. The hero, Darrow, starts an uprising, but it's for all the wrong reasons.
Oh no.
He is entirely driven by toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
The book is extremely slow to start. Like, you're almost 25% into it before anything important even happens, and it just drags.
Oh,
And
terrible.
the conflicts in this book aren't resolved on the page. They're
Oh.
resolved via the magical hidden plan reveal. And it's so frustrating. And in my opinion, the book isn't good enough to be able to handle those things.
It's not.
So,
He's one of those protagonists that's like can do no wrong. He's
Yeah.
the funniest, strongest, smartest,
yes,
fastest.
he's
Mary
Gaston.
Sue kind of.
Gaston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It's really, and there are it's so widely loved, that series, but I just cannot get past how much I dislike the main character.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of this. Makes me want to read it.
Oh, well, you should.
I do think I would hate it. Sounds
You're,
terrible.
like, very confident you would
Dreadful.
dislike
It's
it.
dreadful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. My second title is a YA title, and I actually just finished reading this. It's Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Now, I
Gorgeous
didn't
cover.
hate this
It's
book.
gorgeous.
I didn't hate it. I just think that it is a little bit overrated. The premise was really interesting. So there are 2 rival reporters. One is a man and one is a woman. Young adults, and they work for the same newspaper, and they are vying for the same position, and they're consistently trying to outdo each other. And really, they are very equal. Like, it's not that she deserves the job because she's so much better than him. No, he's also really good at the job, too. She comes from a little bit of a tragic home life. He comes from a wealthy family. His father wants him to follow in his footsteps. He has no interest in it. Eventually, they end up going to war and become war correspondents. And in the meantime, they discover they each have a typewriter, and the typewriter is magic. And when one of them types on their typewriter, it shows up on the other ones, only they don't know it's their 2 typewriters that are connected.
Interesting.
So it's a very, very interesting premise. I really liked it when they went to war and became war correspondents, which was at like maybe 45% of the way through the book. It got super boring.
Oh.
it took, like, all of the mystery was gone out of it. You already knew what was happening. You're like, oh, okay, well, I definitely can see where this is going.
Bummer.
The war that they're fighting is between two rival gods. That's the story I want to know about now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know about these two anymore. I want to know what started the war and why these two gods are fighting. So,
Yeah.
Needs to be like a prequel.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there is a sequel coming out,
Okay.
Which I assume will tell some of the backstory. But
Will
when
you read it?
Maybe, because I want to know. If that's what it's about, I want to know.
Yeah.
But when you get, done with a book and the C plot is the one that's more interesting than your A
not
plot,
great.
It's a bad sign.
It's not great.
Yeah.
So now, like I said, that said, the premise was really great. There were some fun side characters, and so I wouldn't tell anyone not to read it if it's interesting or sounds interesting to you. But for me, I just think it's a bit overrated.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
It is a gorgeous cover.
it is a
Yes.
gorgeous cover. Yes. Yep. It's very pretty. And the D and the R are
Doctor.
no. They're keyboard keys from the typewriter.
Oh,
Yeah, that
I
makes
thought they were going
sense.
to be like their initials.
Yep.
But I
Oh,
can
yeah.
see the keyboard keys.
It
Darren
might,
and Ron.
It actually might
Darren
be
and Ron.
Roman and Iris. So
That
close.
was
Missed
very close.
I
opportunity.
know.
How was the
Yeah.
prose? Was it well written?
It was well written. It was
Okay.
well written.
That's
Okay.
good. That's
Yep.
important.
Yep. So
Appropriately.
appropriately. No,
have
I
said
did
it.
it. Oh my goodness.
Appropriately.
Wouldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. Well, they know what we're doing.
Appropriately.
Guys will figure it out.
You guys, yeah.
Why my
They're smart.
first appropriately rated.
Good job.
Thank you.
It's a hard word to say.
I practiced.
I did.
Lost.
Oh.
Whole series.
The whole series.
I feel like
that's a take.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. Like I wanted to put Lost on there. I feel like people loved the first half of the show and then really disliked the latter half. I think a lot of other people, they just wrote it out the entire time. I thought the last few seasons were great. I'm like in the minority.
Sure.
But you can't really call Lost underrated because it was the biggest thing on television for
It was.
years. So I feel like it earned its reputation as being a show.
And Lost was a stepping stone for a lot of the cast members too.
Yes,
Went
definitely.
on to do some really good things.
The Bobby Moynihan. No, he's a cast member.
Dominic Monaghan.
Thank you.
Pippin.
I got you.
Yeah.
Is that,
You-
is
he was-
that Pippin?
Mary.
Mary.
Mary. That's right.
Dang it. Oh, yeah. Billy something.
Boyd.
Yeah.
Billy Boyd. That's
Yeah.
right. Because that was. I haven't seen Dominic Moynihan in much since he had like one show on the BBC or something where he like drove cars. They're like,
One
oh,
of
it's
them
the
was
Hobbit.
on Master and Commander, the
The
movie
Russell
with Russell
Crowe
Crowe, and I
movie?
can't remember which, but one of the two of them was on that
Okay.
movie.
Good for
Had a small
them.
part in that movie.
I love that they still seem to be like best friends.
For
in real
sure,
life.
I think
That's
they all
so
are.
sweet.
Like the Hobbits
Yeah.
have an actual fellowship of hobbits.
That's insane. I
That is
love it.
really sweet.
Really good show. I don't know if I'd recommend watching it now because it is cheesy J.J. Abrams ABC from 2006 vibes.
Yeesh. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I tried to watch it maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I got like halfway through the first season. And I was like, I got the idea.
yeah, it doesn't get a ton better, but
But it
it's
does
fine.
get worse.
It does. But then sometimes it gets better. Other times you don't know. You say it's good because you want to
Does it-
sound
End strong.
sure.
Or confusing.
It's like
both.
intentionally confusing.
I like to
Or
be confused.
infuriating.
Like I thought it was wrapped up well. A lot of people thought they were shortchanged because they were like, I wanted them to fight that dang polar bear. It's like you
There
only
was a
saw
polar
one
bear on
Yeah.
the tropical island.
first season because it was like
I
there's
didn't get that
mysteries. On.
far.
That was like second episode.
That can't be true.
I think it
I
was
feel like I
like
would have
early
remembered that.
because it was only in for like
Okay, maybe I got like 3
a
episodes.
few
Who
minutes.
knows? I thought I got like halfway. I don't know. Who knows?
Like you probably just forgot because it was
That
not
sounds
like
like
a big
me.
plot point. It was one of those things that the message boards were blowing up.
Huh.
Those were things on the internet.
There were
I'm
things
familiar.
on the internet. I remember like
crazy.
at finishing an episode and going right to the message boards.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
that's how he structured the show to
Yeah.
get like people
Smart.
talking.
Smart.
And then like 3 seasons into it, they're like, he's just throwing stuff in there. There's no resolution. Like none of this is a thing.
That's frustrating.
It is very frustrating. Best show of all time. Here's a take.
That is.
Apples to apples.
I
You know
love
what you're
it.
gonna get.
You do.
Yeah, and it's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, I
Like,
enjoy it.
You never sit down to play apples to apples and end up just like screaming at the tower, like screaming at your family. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
depends on the
fun-
crowd.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
does depend on the crowd, and it depends on whether or not you're playing with people who have a sense of humor or take
Yes.
things very literally.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes literal is
You
fun.
have to know who has the green card.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And if you're playing with somebody that gets really like frustrated that you didn't pick their answer, it's like
Yeah.
it's rain. I don't know who did it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I pick what I find the funniest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same.
That's
So,
how you
okay.
gotta do it.
Whoa, hey Chloe.
Hey, Zach.
Wow. We're in 3D.
No. Tech times
You gotta explain it to me better.
2D.
We're visual.
One,
First,
2.
too much over my head. We are recording our first visual ad
We are.
and
This is where we do our ads usually.
first visual episode. Spoiler alert, this is where it stops.
Could have gone better. I have made a critical error, and this one will not be visual after this. Well, there will be visual aids. There's gonna be pictures and stuff after this, but you won't see us.
Yes.
And that will also happen next episode because we recorded 2 visual episodes before I realized my mistake. But I'm very sorry, and please forgive me. And after this episode, after the next episode that's visual, we'll figure out what we're doing.
We've got it down. Like our ads will be fine.
Oh, the ads will always be good.
The first half. Like you could still just listen to the whole thing anyway.
That's true.
It's
I mean,
good.
it'll still always be uploaded to Spotify, Pandora, the
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts, anything.
Growing Pains.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
My
Every time you
favorite Alan
expand.
Thicke show. Did you ever watch it?
No.
Alan Thicke and Kirk Cameron.
No.
We'll do better.
That's right.
Just across the board, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, coming up on October 27th at 3 p.m. that's a Friday, we got a program called So and Tell that Michelle has thrown together.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
It is cool. Like you can show up, bring some supplies. Like it's going to be a community event where you just kind of like discuss all things craft.
Yeah, you bring like your leftover scraps and craft supplies that you might not need, and you can exchange them with other people for things that you might want, and just discuss your own crafting techniques and other stuff, and share
Yeah.
stories and stuff.
It's very cool.
Yeah, cool community event. I think it'll be really fun. I'm glad I'm working that day.
Yeah, me too. I'll take a break. I'll
Pop down.
saunter down there.
See what the deal is. Maybe I'll bring some of my own craft stuff. I
Should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to crochet, but I have a lot of yarn that I'm like, this is probably not the stuff that I'm ever going to use.
So bring it.
I might do that if I remember.
Give me some of it,
Okay.
and I'll
You
try.
crochet. You used to crochet. You could crochet once again.
Like I said, I did. Like
Was this all a lie?
it's not a lie. I just wasn't very good at it.
Another lie?
I made a scarf, and it was an abomination. Is what my grandma called it. So last thing she said to me.
Aw.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad.
At least
But
she was talking about the scarf and not you.
yeah, I didn't ask. But I still have that scarf. Actually, it's very sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
Carried through generations.
One, I guess, if you made it.
Yeah, true.
Generation.
But I'll bring it.
If you
And
give
I'll,
it to your child, then it could be 2 generations.
it's clean.
I
It's-
don't believe that.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure 20 years ago I spilled soda on it.
What kind?
If it was 20 years ago, probably Diet A&W root beer.
Oh, I don't like root beer. It tastes like licorice.
Yeah, you should have the Diet though. It's like
No,
licorice
Diet
if you pour
licorice.
hand sanitizer on it.
Oh, that's such a visceral, disgusting taste.
But the program will be lovely.
It will be.
So come
Can't
on
wait.
down
Yay!
and join our voices for the rest of this episode.
That's right. And yeah, and there will be images.
Yeah,
Spent a long time putting those together, so enjoy them.
you did a
much
great
more.
job.
You also did. You also did work. It takes way longer to do that than just a video, so watch it.
Wow.
Please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're counting on it.
Yeah.
Keeps us in business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll see you later, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you guys for watching.
There's my answers.
Good answers.
Yeah, good ones.
Good job.
TV and
Yeah.
board game,
Yeah, I like the board game.
which we do check out board games here.
We
Yeah,
do.
lots of
A
them.
lot of really good ones.
This one's ours.
We just added,
Libraries.
or they're ready to go out, about 8 new ones just for kids.
Ooh.
Crazy.
So ready to go
Yeah,
downstairs.
there's some downstairs. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is another movie. Moonlight. Such a good movie. It won Best Picture and Best Director according to the case.
But it lost briefly to La La Land.
What a terrible movie.
What do you mean briefly?
They announced the wrong winner.
Yeah, they said Best Picture La La Land, and then they're like, hang on, hang on.
Whoa, back it up
It
there.
was not La La Land. That is a
Steve
huge
Harvey.
mistake.
That
Yep.
would be awful if you were the people of La La Land.
So bad.
Like Ryan Gosling's doing fine.
Yeah, and I think that they kind of were like, huh? You guys saw Moonlight,
You gotta
right?
be kidding
Like,
me.
this was the best movie of that year for sure.
Yeah,
Did you guys see Moonlight?
I did
It
not.
did. It was really good.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
What's it about?
It is oh gosh, how do you describe this movie?
Slice of life.
Yeah, it's a slice of life. It's like it follows him through 3 parts of his life, like as a child, a teen, and then an adult.
Okay.
Kind of a romance almost, sort of.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a romance.
Janelle Monáe.
Yeah. It's a queer movie. It's very I would say sad at times, but like also I don't know.
It's just really well
gorgeous.
done.
It is.
Okay.
It's very hard to describe. It's been a little bit since I've seen it too.
Where is it set?
It's like
Somewhere in the south, I think, or maybe
Okay.
out west, southwest,
Yeah.
California,
Okay.
maybe.
'Cause I think I saw it the year that it came out.
Miami,
Oh,
not southwest,
okay.
But,
but
south.
hot, somewhere hot.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
The cinematography is gorgeous. That was like what stuck out to me, and the lighting is beautiful. Which just fits with Miami. Like the colors
yeah.
are just beautiful,
Yeah,
and like the
vibrant.
Yeah, and the lighting changes like with each part of his life. Like
Oh, interesting.
like I remember the first one being like really yellowy kind of, and then it moving towards like more blues, and then it getting like darker at the end. Like it's just
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Really was.
Really, really good lighting. Mm-hmm.
Moonlight.
Moonlight.
Makes sense.
I think it's a movie that everyone should watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everything that we talk about, we have here at the
Yes.
library.
yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
One of them not for very long.
Right.
Yeah. The bell curve is going.
Yep.
Yes.
You better run if you want that one.
Yeah, you can maybe find it in the book sale, or maybe it'll just disappear forever.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Appropriately withdrawn, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Creep.
Always. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Moonlight appropriately rated because it's rated very highly.
Good.
Yeah. Good answer.
My other appropriately rated is Little Women. It is a classic, and I think it's a classic for a reason. And this is such a gorgeous cover that we
It really
have.
is.
It's so pretty.
Got a
Is that the
couple
one
of
that's
different versions.
illustrated inside as well?
I think it is. It says illustrated by somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It's got some illustrations.
It's very pretty.
You guys
Oh,
go.
what is
Whoa,
that?
what on earth? Is that
Pardon?
from is that from her?
World.
Excuse
Oh my
me?
goodness.
Things are falling out, guys. I don't know what to do.
Pause the video.
I have to have a panic attack.
That's interesting. I feel like that stuff should be secured in there somehow.
Time out.
Note to self, processing department.
Betty Avery, can you come back, please?
It's like letters.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
What on earth?
It is a very, very beautiful copy that I clearly have not read this version of it, but it's beautiful.
If you don't want all the stuff, we've got like the regular version.
We do. We have.
Yeah.
I almost grabbed that one because I was like, this is probably the version that I have read, but this one is so pretty.
Thank God we got that on camera.
Absolutely.
Yes. We're not perfect. Yeah, I love Little Women. I've read it a bunch of times. It's very comforting to me. It's one that I read around like Christmas, not every year, but sometimes. Yeah.
Which sister do you most identify with?
Joe.
Joe.
I love Joe. I like Joe. I feel like Beth is wonderful, but she has no personality.
Right.
Amy's annoying, and I like Meg, but also annoying, kind of.
Poor Beth.
Poor Beth.
I like all of them at times. Like even Joe can be irritating. I feel like they're all like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Joe ended up with the person she was supposed to end up with?
No.
No.
Nobody did. Nobody did. But I think like it's like kind of realistic like that.
Sure.
It doesn't really have like the happy ending that, like you expect it to have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to reread it because I love it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I
Who
heard
do
the
you
show
relate
was
The
to?
good. Joe by
newest,
far.
Joe's the best.
the newest movie adaptation was really good too.
I did
what I
not see
heard.
it. I think I would like it.
It
Who do
was
you
very
relate to,
good.
Brittany?
I also would say Joe.
Yeah, Joe's the best. I feel like Joe and
Yep.
Meg are like my favorite.
Yeah. I feel like Amy is written to be the baby of the family without being the baby of the family, which makes Beth expendable.
It like yes.
So-
yeah, you kind of can
Yeah.
see it coming. Yeah.
Things were
Beth.
different back then.
You had to have a lot of kids because they weren't all gonna make it.
Yeah.
Actually, there's 4 in my family, so well, I don't know.
It's like a fine amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's not a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple books that I think are appropriately rated. And one of them is Murder on the Orient Express.
Ooh, yeah.
Very highly regarded.
Another classic
is.
for a reason.
I believe I talked about this in our mystery episode of the podcast, which is available for download, friends.
Yes.
This is one that I reread every year. And while I'm, in general, an Agatha Christie fan, I really like this one a lot because there's a very compelling mystery. You have no idea what happened. It's a locked room mystery on a train. So it's like a double locked room mystery. There is a cast of very interesting suspects. Everyone has a reason to potentially have been the one to do the murder. And then there is a very, very interesting twist at the end of the book, which she's not normally known for, like twisty endings. I mean, there's always the reveal ending, but this one was a bit of a twist ending. And it doesn't matter how many times I read it, I always appreciate the twist ending. So that is my first appropriately rated book.
It says a lot about a mystery,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
usually one and done.
Yeah. Yeah, and even though I know who, the culprit, I still like going through the method and
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of details you didn't pick up on the first time.
Right.
There are, and
Hints clues.
Yeah.
there's a very well done movie adaptation by Kenneth Branagh,
Love.
and he plays Poirot brilliantly, and so I always like to watch that too.
Yeah.
That's one I can't believe I haven't read. I haven't read any Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Like, you make me really want to read them.
Dope.
I need to. But,
Yep. Yep. So my second appropriately rated book is The Chateau by Jacqueline Goldis. And I was reading this book, I was listening to this book this year while I was at ALA. And it was so good that when I was going through the Field Museum, like in my trip to the Field Museum, I had my earbuds in and I was listening to the book while I was in the museum because I wanted to know what happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So this book is about 4 women. They met on a study abroad trip to France, and then they remained friends for throughout their adulthood. There's a chateau in France that's owned by one of their grandmothers, and one of the ladies is the daughter of the housekeeper. So we have the 3 kind of rich debutantes, and then we have the housekeeper's daughter, but they never treated her like the housekeeper's daughter, and she actually ends up being the most wealthy and successful of all of them. But anyway, they get called back to the chateau by the grandmother, and no one knows why. And so they are there for a special meeting, and the grandmother gets murdered. And it's all there are generational secrets. I believe they all 4 genuinely loved one another and were genuine friends, but they all were keeping horrific secrets from one another. And so there are lots of twists. There are lots of kind of surprises. No really outlandish twists, but there are really some interesting touchstones to historic events too.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great read. And if you like, the kind of domestic thriller / mystery types of things with really good female characters, that's a great choice.
Great cover too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's what drew me to it,
Yeah.
was the cover.
Spooky and pretty.
Yeah. We came in, I thought it was a horror movie. Horror movie? I'm not very smart.
You're
was a horror
brilliant,
book.
but it's a book.
Well, thank you.
It does
Thanks so
look like
much.
a horror book.
I was one away.
So for my underrated, my first choice is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard.
Okay.
This is a YA title. It is part of the first of the Witchlands series novels. These are spectacular. The world building is impeccable. It rivals. I would put it up against any fantasy series as far as the world building and the magic system. It's an ensemble character. There is a team of characters that you know are like the crux of the story, but they are surrounded by side characters that are so much more than side characters. And so I love this. It's expansive. The magic system is amazing and very unique. The female characters are really strong, but they are on par with the male characters who aren't bumbling fools, which happens a lot
It does.
in female written fantasy.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
They really do make great teams and great partners.
That's awesome.
So I really like this series and would recommend it to anyone who likes that type of
It's
thing.
checking all my boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that sounds amazing.
I don't think I've heard of it.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yep.
underrated.
Seriously?
Yeah.
My second underrated is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Silvia Moreno Garcia. She is an amazing author. She is, oh my word, she writes a lot of gothic, borderline horror. This is a Spanish retelling, Mexican retelling of The Island of Dr. Moreau. And it's set in the Yucatan Peninsula. And it's not all just science experiments gone wrong. There is a particular reason that Moreau has done what he has done. And I can't tell you because spoilers.
Good.
But there's political intrigue. There's an interesting setting. She is an amazing character. And as she's discovering things about her life throughout the book, you are also discovering those things along with her, which makes it a really compelling story. There's some dubious morality things in this book, and also some monsters, and not necessarily the genetically engineered ones. So if you like kind of spooky / sciencey stories, this is a great choice.
Okay.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of that one, but like I didn't read the original Island of Dr. Moreau.
Me neither.
Saw the movie with
The Anthony
Christopher Walken.
Hopkins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's that
sure.
one too. Yeah,
That's right.
Really
That's
bad
right.
one.
That's what I'm thinking
It
of.
was really terrible.
Well, great actor though.
Yes, true.
His head came off in the movie Speed though.
Oof.
Not that that's against him. It's just that's a thing that happened.
That's just a plot point.
Yeah, that's a plot point.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Brittany.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
My
Oh,
turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. The movie Onward. It's a Pixar
Yay.
movie. Yes. So people know about it, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's super underrated for a
For
Pixar
sure.
movie. It's so
Gorgeous.
good.
I agree.
It is gorgeous. People do not talk about it enough. Like people talk about the older Pixar movies a lot more. This movie made me cry in the theater.
Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But like the newer ones,
For sure.
I feel like don't have that punch as much. But this one did.
Agreed.
It's like I feel like it has such a classic like 3-act structure to it that I really like. Like just it's such a like classic adventure movie. And then the end, like they don't do the thing that they like. I don't want to spoil it, but they don't do the thing that you think they're gonna do. And it just like kills me. It breaks
no.
my
Oh, no.
heart. It's good though. It's really good. Like
Yeah.
they make the right choice for sure. It is so good. You like it too, Britt?
I do.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
excellent. You have seen it?
Half of it, because
Half
my
of it.
oldest lost interest halfway through, and it sounds like that's probably a good thing because he got really emotional at the end of one of the Pokemon movies.
Oh.
And it was just because like they made like replicas of themselves. They were like astral replicas, and
Okay.
they dissolve into the ether at the end.
Aw.
And he was like, they had to go by.
Aww.
Yeah, this
I was
might
like, oh, okay.
devastate him.
I'm gonna go clean some dishes.
You should just
So
watch this by
nobody can hear me
yourself.
cry. Yeah, I want to.
Like,
Yeah.
I
this
love
movie makes
everything
me
Chris Pratt
cry
does.
so disagree. I don't like Chris Pratt, but he does a good job in
Yeah.
this movie. It's heartbreaking. And then we've talked about this before, but
We
it is so
have.
underrated.
Agreed.
The Kane Chronicles.
Great choice.
Yes, the Red Pyramid is the first one. The Kane Chronicles, Rick Riordan, so underrated. Like, they just are not talked about enough. It is so underrated.
Another one with gorgeous cover.
Gorgeous cover,
All
yeah.
of them. All three
They
of them
all
have
are,
gorgeous covers.
yeah. Egyptian mythology, so cool. Just works in a very different way from his other books.
It does. It's such a rich story.
It is. Super rich
Yeah.
story. And, like, very cool mythology. I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
Good rereads. They're great. Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah. Zach?
I've got a fantasy too, because I've all fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy's good.
That's all right.
This is one that came close to winning the whatever the fantasy award is.
Oh. You would.
Oh,
Can't remember.
it's whatever the Wergen love story
Yeah.
won a couple of years ago.
Oh, gosh.
I think this was a front runner. It's called Along the Razor's Edge by Rob J. Hayes.
Okay.
Kind of skirts the line between fantasy and grimdark. Grimdark
Ooh,
being
okay.
like dark fantasy. But the protagonist, she's actually kind of an antagonist. Like she was the world's biggest.
The Hugo.
Thank you, the Hugo. Should have known.
You knew it all along.
Yep, I
You
did.
just
We'll
came
edit
up
it in.
with
Put
Yeah,
Brittany's.
that'll be easy.
I said Hugo.
Yes.
She was like the biggest sorceress like in the galaxy, but she had all of her powers stripped, and she's locked in this like hole with a bunch of other like disgraced sorcerers.
Interesting.
And so it's just her journey back to being a sociopath with power.
Oh,
Okay.
That sounds
Yeah.
great.
It is great.
It says no one escapes the pit on the cover. It looks fun.
The spoiler alert: she eventually escapes the pit. And then I've got one that's not unheard of, but it's The Lies of Locke Lamora. And I think it's one of the best written fantasy books to come out in a while. Yeah, it's a series. I only read the first one, but
Was
it's
this
really
your
good.
staff pick? Or was that something else?
That was something else.
Oh,
that
okay.
was I forget, but it was a good one too. That one was
That's okay.
that was a grimdark one that was like really dark,
Oh, okay.
but
That's
very
good that
well
you
written.
recommended that to all our patrons. I'm just kidding. It's fine. They can decide for themselves.
Yeah, but
They're adults.
yeah, yep.
It's fine.
Now I have to think of the name of it.
Talk about this book.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lies of Locke Lamora, about a thief. He's a con artist.
All the
That's
best thieves are.
Yep, that's right. Coming of age story. Yeah, it's just very, very well written. I think Patrick Rothfuss said that he was angry that like he didn't write this book. 'cause it
I'm
was,
angry
like-
that Patrick Rothfuss doesn't write anything.
That's
Right?
true.
Yeah. It's just.
I'm just kind of angry at Patrick.
Yeah, understandably so.
Scamming people out of their money.
At least now he's like, stop asking me about the dang book.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he
pretty
did that
transparent.
charity live stream like last year, and then didn't give us. I didn't give him any money, but he didn't give the people that gave him money what he said he would give them.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
George Martin is like,
It's
if
a
I don't finish
derailment.
this book by the end of the day, you can lock me in the pit.
No one escapes the pit.
No one escapes. When people are like,
Spoiler, he probably wouldn't.
No. Probably not.
then they ask him, he's like, why stop asking me?
Is that what he sounds like?
I'm writing for 2.5 Men now. Stop asking me about the book.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll read and watch all of your suggestions. Get right on it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We hope you like the
guys.
first visual episode.
That's right.
And stay tuned for next week. We'll be doing just another audio pod, and that'll be about Halloween. Spookly,
Halloween.
spookly.
Hey. Right around the corner.
Yeah.
It is.
Coming right up.
So
Smell the
soon.
candy.
Corn. Candy corn.
Oh, I don't like
I don't
corn.
either.
Smell that corn.
Waxy.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The pumpkins
Good
are
candy.
worse.
Yeah. Oh, they are.
Don't like the smell of pumpkins?
Candy corn.
Pumpkin
pumpkins.
candy corn.
Whatever.
You missed the candy corn part.
I was
get
just
some
thinking about
Zots.
corn. Zots. Yeah, okay. Save that anecdote for the podcast where our UPS driver got really mad
Oh.
because we gave him a Zot. And
And it didn't zot.
Oh no!
it was just a hollow
Thought we
that's
candy
tragic.
shell.
Yeah, I thought we were
It's
playing
tragedy.
a dumb prank.
Yep. Came back in the next day and he was like, you guys are the cowards. Thinking
no.
that this was intense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, join us
Okay.
then for that story that I just told the entirety of.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.